We're now cutting across to New Delhi, where Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe is currently on a visit to India. He met with Indian PM Minister Narendra Modi, and both the leaders are now addressing a joint press conference. Listen in.
इस अवसर पर मैं उन्हें हम सभी की ओर से हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। पिछला एक वर्ष श्रीलंका के लोगों के लिए चुनौतियों से भरा रहा है। एक निकटतम मित्र होने के नाते हमेशा की तरह हम इस संकट के काल में भी श्रीलंका के लोगों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर खड़े रहे और जिस साहस के साथ उन्होंने इन चुनौतीपूर्ण परिस्थितियों का सामना किया, इसके लिए मैं श्रीलंका के लोगों का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, हमारे संबंध हमारी सभ्यताओं की तरह ही प्राचीन भी हैं, व्यापक भी हैं। भारत की नेबरहुड फर्स्ट पॉलिसी और सागर विजन दोनों में भी श्रीलंका का एक महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है। आज हमने द्विपक्षीय, क्षेत्रीय तथा अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मुद्दों पर अपने विचार साझा किए। हमारा मानना है कि भारत और श्रीलंका के सुरक्षा हित और विकास एक दूसरे से जुड़े रहे हैं और इसलिए यह आवश्यक है कि हम एक दूसरे की सुरक्षा और संवेदनाओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए साथ मिलकर काम करें। फ्रेंड्स, आज हमने हमारी इकोनॉमिक पार्टनरशिप के लिए एक विजन डॉक्यूमेंट अपनाया है। यह विजन है दोनों देशों के लोगों के बीच मैरीटाइम, एयर, एनर्जी और पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्टिविटी को मजबूती देने का। यह विजन है टूरिज्म, पावर, ट्रेड, उच्च शिक्षा और स्किल डेवलपमेंट में आपसी सहयोग को गति देने का। यह विजन है श्रीलंका के प्रति भारत के लॉन्ग टर्म कमिटमेंट का। फ्रेंड्स, हमने तय किया है कि इकोनॉमिक एंड टेक्नोलॉजिकल कोऑपरेशन एग्रीमेंट पर शीघ्र ही बातचीत शुरू की जाएगी। इससे दोनों देशों के लिए व्यापार और आर्थिक सहयोग की नई संभावनाएं खुलेगी। हम भारत और श्रीलंका के बीच हवाई कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ाने के लिए सहमत है। व्यापार और लोगों का आवागमन बढ़ाने के लिए तमिलनाडु के नागपट्टनम और श्रीलंका के कांके संतुरई के बीच पैसेंजर फेरी सर्विसेज शुरू करने का निर्णय भी लिया गया है। हमने तय किया है कि दोनों देशों के बीच इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ग्रिड्स को कनेक्ट करने के काम को तेजी से आगे बढ़ाया जाएगा। भारत और श्रीलंका के बीच पेट्रोलियम पाइपलाइन के लिए फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी की जाएगी। इसके अलावा एक लैंड ब्रिज की फिजिबिलिटी को भी जांचने का निर्णय लिया गया। आज श्रीलंका में यूपीआई को लॉन्च करने के लिए हुए समझौते से फिनटेक कनेक्टिविटी भी बढ़ेगी। फ्रेंड्स, आज हमने मछुआरों की आजीविका से जुड़े मुद्दों पर भी चर्चा की। हम सहमत हैं कि हमें इस मामले में एक मानवीय अप्रोच के साथ आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। हमने श्रीलंका में रिकंस्ट्रक्शन और रिकंसिलिएशन पर भी बात की। राष्ट्रपति विक्रमसिंघे ने अपने समावेशी दृष्टिकोण के बारे में मुझे बताया। हम आशा करते हैं कि श्रीलंका सरकार तमिलों की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करेगी, समानता, न्याय और शांति के लिए पुनर्निर्माण की प्रक्रिया को आगे बढ़ाएगी। 13वें संशोधन का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और प्रोविंशियल काउंसिल इलेक्शंस कराने की अपनी प्रतिबद्धता को पूर्ण करेगी और श्रीलंका के तमिल समुदाय के लिए रिस्पेक्ट और डिग्निटी की जिंदगी सुनिश्चित करेगी। फ्रेंड्स, यह वर्ष हमारे द्विपक्षीय संबंधों के लिए विशेष महत्व रखता है। हम अपने डिप्लोमेटिक संबंधों की 75वीं वर्षगांठ मना रहे हैं। साथ ही भारतीय मूल का तमिल समुदाय श्रीलंका में अपने आगमन के 200 वर्ष पूरे कर रहा है। मुझे यह कहते हुए खुशी है, इस अवसर पर श्रीलंका के भारतीय मूल के तमिल नागरिकों के लिए 75 करोड़ रुपए की लागत से विभिन्न प्रोजेक्ट्स क्रियान्वित किए जाएंगे। इसके साथ साथ भारत श्रीलंका के उत्तरी और पूर्वी क्षेत्र में भी विकास कार्यक्रमों में योगदान देगा। एक्सेलेंसी, एक स्थिर, सुरक्षित और समृद्ध श्रीलंका न केवल भारत के हित में है, बल्कि पूरे इंडियन ओशन रीजन के हित में है। मैं एक बार फिर आश्वासन देता हूं कि श्रीलंका के लोगों की इस संघर्ष की घड़ी में भारत के लोग उनके साथ हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. May I now invite Honorable President of Sri Lanka to make his remarks.
Your Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media. I am honored to be in New Delhi at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is my first visit to India since assuming office as President last year, and it's a visit to which myself and my government attaches the highest importance. I thank the Prime Minister Modi and the Government of India for the hospitality extended to me and to my delegation. This morning, Prime Minister Modi and I had the occasion to review at length recent developments in our countries as well as in our bilateral relations. I have congratulated Prime Minister Modi on the great strides India continues to make under his leadership in economic, infrastructure, and technological progress in ensuring growth and prosperity to the people of India. We believe that India's growth will be beneficial to the neighbourhood and the Indian Ocean region. I have also appraised Prime Minister Modi of the extraordinary challenges that Sri Lanka has experienced in economic, social, and political terms in the past year, and of the reform measures I have spearheaded on a number of fronts in overcoming these challenges. I have conveyed to Prime Minister Modi and to the government and the people of India a profound appreciation for the solidarity and support rendered to Sri Lanka in what was undoubtedly the most challenging period in our modern history. Friends, in reviewing recent developments in Sri Lanka, I shared with Prime Minister Modi my commitment to bring about economic recovery leading to sustainable and stable growth with justice and equity, which will benefit all segments of Sri Lankan society in all parts of the country. In moving forward, I have explained that I have set Sri Lanka firmly on a path of economic reform, and that Sri Lanka is already witnessing the stabilizing outcomes of these measures and the revival of confidence internally and externally in the progress of the country. I also shared with him the comprehensive proposal I presented this week for furthering reconciliation, power sharing through devolution, and the multiple elements of the Northern Development Plan. I have invited all party leaders in Parliament to work towards consensus and national unity on these measures. Thereafter, the government will place relevant legislation before Parliament. Prime Minister Modi has expressed his solidarity and goodwill in these endeavours. Friends, we now need to put our economy on a growth path, bringing greater revenue for the country, which requires enhanced investment in all parts of the country. As a supportive and solid foundation for realizing of these objectives, we have agreed on the joint vision of future India-Sri Lanka economic partnership through enhanced connectivity. Today, in the 75th year of our bilateral diplomatic relations, our vision will propel us towards a more secure future through mutually beneficial interactions to bring tangible benefits and greater opportunities for our future generations in the coming decades. The foundations of our joint vision of greater future connectivity has already been laid through the millennia-old civilization, cultural, and human and commercial interactions between our two countries. The thread of connectivity is woven through our history. In our view, the present time is a most opportune moment to embark on such a vision for the future. We recognize that modern-day connectivity plays a crucial role in realizing our vision of economic partnership. The recent recommencement of Chennai and Jaffna air service is an important step towards air connectivity. We believe that the expansion of aviation connectivity to other destinations and further development of Palal Airport will complement this initiative. Ferry services have been between Talemana, Rameswaram, and Nagapatnam and Kankasanture will add more impetus to sea travel between the two countries. Examining the other forms of connectivity between Sri Lanka and India could become a further catalyst to boost economic growth. We agreed that the Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement between Sri Lanka and India is critical to enhance bilateral trade and investment in new and priority areas. Sri Lanka is pleased to welcome Indian assistance in digital tech-driven service delivery and the citizen-centric services. We agreed that enhanced connectivity will also play a crucial role in strengthening our cooperation in tourism, people-to-people exchange, and cultural relations. The tourism industry in Sri Lanka is poised to reap the benefits of the post-pandemic world, and India is currently the top market for inbound tourism for Sri Lanka. Enabling UPI-based digital payments in Sri Lanka would immediately facilitate future growth in this and other sectors. In keeping with Sri Lanka's national priorities and global commitment towards a greener economy and also to ensure energy security, Sri Lanka sees valuable opportunities in partnering with India in green and renewable energy development. In this context, I am pleased to note the conclusion of the Memorandum of Understanding for Cooperation in the field of renewable energy. Establishing the high-capacity power grid interconnection between Sri Lanka and India would enable two-way electricity trade between the two countries. The development of Trincomalee as an energy hub with the support of India is a crucial step towards Sri Lanka's goal to evaluate Trincomalee as a hub for industry and other economic activities. Prime Minister Modi and I believe that the construction of a multi-project petroleum pipeline from southern part of India to Sri Lanka will ensure an affordable and reliable supply of energy resources to Sri Lanka. We also discussed how to improve our cooperation in dairy and animal husbandry sectors to realize our common interest in achieving greater socio-economic development and enhance the nutrition status of our people. Cooperation in the education sector is one of the key elements in our bilateral relationship. We believe that establishing new higher education institutes with assistance from India is important. This will contribute towards upgrading the knowledge and skills of our youth and include them in the nation's development drive. I believe that my visit to India has provided an opportunity to review our bilateral relationship, leverage the strength of geographical and civilization links, reinforce trust and confidence for our future prosperity in the modern world. I am confident that the discussion we had today will lay the foundation for the next 25 years of Indo-Lanka relations and contribute to my vision for sustainable growth, national unity, and reconciliation for all segments of people of Sri Lanka, and a prosperous and a secure future for the people of India and Sri Lanka. And let me, in conclusion, Prime Minister Modi, thank you and the government for the invaluable support you gave us at the time of crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This concludes the press statements. Thank you all for joining. Please wait for the leaders to depart.
A joint press conference held by the Indian Prime Minister and the Sri Lankan President. Now, this is the first visit to India by the Sri Lankan President since he's assumed office last year, and big announcements have come from both nations as they work towards building back Sri Lanka. Now, there will be a lot of announcements which have been made from the Indian Prime Minister, followed by the Sri Lankan President. The Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement. Now, this is essentially what is going to roll out in the days and times to come between the two nations. Sri Lanka is on path to economic recovery, economic reforms, which it requires urgently to step out of the crisis that it was thrown into in the last year and the time before that. Now, India has made a lot of commitments here. The Indian Prime Minister spoke about economic partnership between the two nations. He spoke about a vision document in maritime, air, energy and people-to-people connectivity. Now, Sri Lanka needs to rebuild its economy, and it is banking on India, its South Asian partner, for better connectivity between the two nations, for more investment in Sri Lanka to be able to pace further on its path to economic recovery. India will be giving a boost to tourism in Sri Lanka. There will be more connectivity between the two nations regarding tourism, power, higher education, skill development. Long-term commitment to Sri Lanka is on the cards for sure. For more on this, we are now being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal. Siddhant, Economic and Technology Cooperation Agreement, of course, big announcements which have come from both the nations. Sri Lanka is on its path to economic recovery, and India will play a major role in that. Talk about the key takeaways from this joint press conference.
Well, Shivan, one of the key takeaway from the press statement was that the Sri Lankan side thanking India for the immense economic support India provided during the economic crisis. That was expected as well. India has provided billions of dollars of support to Sri Lanka, even more than the IMF bailout. In fact, India played a key role in nudging the IMF in giving that key bailout. But essentially, in terms of the outcomes, I believe the first important outcome is UPI, which will benefit the Indian tourists when they go to Sri Lanka. They can use UPI platform to, of course, buy a lot of souvenirs, but also, of course, this will pave way for greater inflow of Indian tourists to Sri Lanka, which Sri Lanka needs basically to make sure that it tides this economic crisis. A second, of course, is connectivity. In terms of connectivity, the one key focus has been connectivity between Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka, the ferry service, and India is keen that this ferry service starts as soon as possible. In the third key outcome, it is the energy. There has been a pact which has been announced in renewable energy, but also in terms of an oil pipeline. Now, this oil pipeline will carry oil from south of India to Sri Lanka. In this, whenever it finishes, right now feasibility test will take place in the next few months. Whenever it finishes, it will be the third such oil pipeline India will have with its neighbors after Nepal and Bangladesh. And third, and perhaps one of the most important one for connectivity, is the feasibility for a land bridge that connects India with Sri Lanka. So essentially, focus has been on energy, on financial connectivity, and in general connectivity, the physical connectivity as well. But this is a pretty short visit, almost 24-hour long visit, but a visit full of outcomes as to how both countries take the relationship forward. There's a vision document that has been released as well. The nitty-gritties will be out very soon. In fact, the Indian Foreign Secretary will be doing a briefing shortly detailing as to what transpired between the Indian Prime Minister and the Sri Lankan President here in Delhi today.
Thanks for all those updates, Siddhant. That was Siddhant Sibal, our principal diplomatic correspondent, bringing us all the details from the joint press conference held between the two leaders. That's it from this bulletin. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will get you all the stories after this break. Stay tuned. I'm Shivan Chamna.